2 is 1, 1 is none. If you have redundancy, you don't want to have a single point of failure for all your redundancy. That's just silly. Welcome back, Internet. Today we've got this is probably going to be a feature-length video, to quote Nothing Fancy. So I've got my version 1 fire kit. I came up with this idea a long time ago. And there's a little bit of tinder in there, a couple different kinds of matches, and a lighter. And you know, a lot of things have changed since I put this together. And when I say kit, you know, I've got several of these. Most recently, when I was messing around with my bug out bags, I decided to separate it this way. If I just lost one, you know, if I lost this, it disappeared, I wouldn't be without fire. So I separated it into 2 packages. So you can see it's kind of waterproof. So I've got stormproof matches now, waterproof matches, a little bit of tinder, a cheapo ferro rod, and a cheapo lighter that's also protected. Water can't get in. If this breaks and leaks, it will kind of contain the mess. You can see I've got some extra strikers for matches. So the long strip is from some Dollar Tree, Walmart match boxes, and it's just 1 extra. And then these ones in the plastic are what come with the stormproof matches. So this is most of my fire kit in a bug out bag. I've also got a butane lighter, kind of like this one, in all my bags. Maybe the same brand. It looks the same. So I got that and all there. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to upgrade this kit to, you know, from version 1 to version 2, and I'm going to figure out how to add jute twine into this, because this is pretty awesome and it's really cheap. So forgot the baggies. I'm going to go get some baggies. We'll be right back. Where are my baggies? Where are my baggies? Where are my baggies?
A few moments later.
That took entirely way too long to find the baggies, but I did find some other interesting things on a related note that we're going to talk about. So when I was in the Marine Corps, we had soap boxes that would separate. So it'd be kind of like this number. This is what they have typically now. So this was like a really early version of an attempt at a fire kit. I abandoned that idea because the soap box didn't really have enough space, as you can see. It was kind of hard. I mean, that's kind of the good point of it, but it just kind of wasn't really big enough for me to cram in everything I wanted to. And we'll show you how this stuff works. I believe this is like sawdust and glue or something. It is supposed to be tinder. It's Coleman's brand. I normally get it for a couple dollars per pack. We'll use the modified lighter. The light's pretty good. You can also light the bigger chunks. And there we go. Doesn't smell all that bad. Kind of easy to work with. I say that. kind of hard to put out. Now what am I going to do? Well, crap, I didn't plan on that. Let's see if it goes underwater. What do I have to pick it up with? Alright, so it does not burn underwater. So that will extinguish it. In this case, this is what we wanted. Awesome. So that's what this stuff is. You see, I always... it's as much to waterproof the lighter as it is in case this breaks and leaks out. The Ziploc baggies I use for most of this are the snack size, and they, last time I went and bought snack size, they changed it so it's no longer wide like this. It's just long. It's about the same size. It's actually bigger, but yeah, they just changed the way that works. All right, let's see, where am I at? This is my train of thought here. All right, so we're going to pull these out. Pull these out. I don't know why this looks wet. Kind of weird. We still have fuel. Well, you still have plenty of fuel. See? Plenty of fuel. And just leave it in that Ziploc bag. So what there we go. So when you're waterproofing stuff, it doesn't always lay flat. You see how that's not going to lay flat? So I folded it back this way and then did it like that. This way, now it lays flat. And after years of being in that position, it just took to it. Alright, so this is going to stay here. This has ferro rod. Bought these a long time ago. Came in a package. Typical ferro rod. And then we got one of these. See, I told you. Oh, you can't see that. Told you I always mark that stuff. $3. Oh, this is only half a thing. Alright, well I guess we're not going to use that then. Alright, so we'll open this. So this goes in here. And you can tell they're all facing this way. That's how they pack them. Oh, they changed it a little bit. But they're still mostly facing that way. So I'm going to turn around several of these. This way it lays flatter. It's not always just about buying gear, guys. Sometimes you have to put in a little bit of sweat equity to make it work. And just a little bit of customization can go along. Actually, they did a pretty good job of this. It used to be they'd all be facing one direction. Isn't that a band name or something? Alright. And the reason they keep the box in there is if you're really in a survival situation, you can use the kindling. So, whoa. That's extra. Now, obviously, you're going to want to use the cheaper matches first. Yeah, see, this is typically how it works. Man, it feels like it got wet with oil. So you just do that. Kind of balances out. Let's see if they still work. Looks like they're not going to work. That's interesting. That one is. Waterproof camp matches. Well then. What happened to that? But those are dyed. Oh, I bet you it's the that got wet. No? Maybe it just wasn't giving enough man juice. I guess that's all it was. I mean, that looks like oil. I mean, it probably came from that, but that's just kind of weird. Just now the question is, do I leave it in there? Yeah, I'll leave it in there. Oh, these are Colans, and these are Coleman. That's interesting. So, the reason why I'm leaving it in there is because of that. I'm always going to have a lighter or something else. Part of the thing of a match is it's got some built-in kindling. Dang it. It's going to make it a pain in the ass because I can tilt it like this, so now it's going to be a really weird shape in my bag. Prepper problems. Alright, well, we'll shelve that for a little while. Alright, so we got that. So now, I need to figure out what we're going to do with this. So this is what I was looking for that took so long. These are pill bottles, not bottles, pill baggies. These are great for organizing things. I like Ziploc bags, by the way. They are great for organizing things, keeping things waterproof and compartmentalized. They are pretty awesome. So now, how do I want to acquire? You know, making a little bit of a roll would be good. Maybe some cardboard. Yeah, that'd work. All right, get a little piece of cardboard. Probably better do this on camera. Alright, get rid of this. This makes for decent improvised kindling too, probably. Or tinder. Let's check that theory. Wow. That kind of sucks, actually. Alright, so, nope. Alright, so when you're sizing things up, there's going to be a little bit of a bulge, and so you'll lose width. So, that, because it goes this way, you're going to lose some of that width. So, probably don't want to go much more than that. So what I'm going to do is this. Let's see if this will work the way I want it to. Yeah, it looks like it will. That's not as easy as I thought it would be. Aha. Interesting. There we go. So I'm just gonna roll this up till I feel like I'm gonna stop rolling it. Probably gonna make, so let's see, I'm working on, that's from bug out bag number 2. Got 2 kits, so I'm probably gonna make 4 of these. I've recently tried to start some fires, and in wet conditions I was like, oh, this would be great, I'll just do some wood shavings, and, you know, strike it with ferro rod. And yeah, it didn't really work out all that well. And I've watched some videos with people like Crazy Russian Hacker. They're like, hey, look, I got some coconut husk. That stuff just lights like you wouldn't believe. That's probably something similar to this. Or maybe that's what they make jute twine out of. I don't know. If you know, comment below. There we go. Now I got a little packet of tinder. Put that in here. So the idea behind that is, you know, I'll have some tinder with some fire starting. Got some tinder with some fire starting. I'll do another one, put it there. I'm working on right now. Part of the reason for the cardboard is also for some tinder. See, I'm taking a measurement right there. I got a little bit of space on both ends. We'll do like we did on the other one. This is the part that makes survival kits expensive. When you go spending all this time, oh, that works awesome. You know, doing stuff like this. Oh, there you go. Now you can probably see it. Nah, it doesn't want to be awesome. See if it works better that way. Can I do it where you can see it? Kind of. There we go. You can kind of see it now. Maybe I'll cut some music over this, or just cut through this, because this is probably pretty boring. Actually, no, you kind of need to see this. Alright, so that's going to be enough. And yeah, cutting it with a knife is pretty freaking stupid. But, you know, you need to get used to some of these techniques if you're going to prepare for being in less than ideal conditions. you know, how to cut things with a knife and not cut yourself. Go in your hole, Happy Gilmore. All right. So the way I like to get all the air out is usually push it flat and then zip it shut. And that's usually a good enough job. Alright, so for this one, because we managed to keep it all in a rectangle, I'm going to put it on top. I don't know if you can see that. So I've compressed this much of the Ziploc bag, and there's only this much open. And I squeeze the air out as best I can, and then seal it up real quick. Alright, so now I've got this stuff here with a ferro rod. You gotta have a ferro rod, that's just how survival works. Alright, so now this kit is on par with that kit. Oh! We'll dive more into why this is orange in another video. But for now this does the same thing as having them in the same. Alright, well, that's fine. This does the same thing as putting them in the same bag. So I wouldn't put it in your bag like this, but this is going in a bin on a shelf. So that's why this is like this. These stay separate because they're going in a bag. They're going to be in the same compartment, but I don't want to have a single point of failure. Wait a minute. I got things mixed up. I don't want to have a single point of failure where I could lose my entire fire kit. And I mean, it is that whole, what do they call it, the rule of three? Not the rule of threes. 2 is 1, 1 is none. If you have redundancy, you don't want to have a single point of failure for all your redundancy. That's just silly. So, this doesn't go in the kit. This does go in the kit separate. Even in the same compartment is fine. But you want to break it out a little bit. I've got some tinder and some fire, some tinder and some fire. So now I've got 2 baggies of fire kits. If somehow I manage to lose one, or I forget one, or give or trade one away, whatever the circumstance might be, I am not completely without fire. Now, keep in mind, I've also got my EDC lighter. Where'd it go? Probably still in my pocket. Got my EDC lighter. I've also have another one in the bag, and then I've got other fire starting options in the bag. So it's not just these 2. All right, so we did that for this one. Now to do the same thing for this one. So let's see, we're gonna need one of these. Alright, so these are probably old enough where you'll be able to see what I was talking about. Yeah, there we go. Alright, so this is the way that it used to be back in the day. So what that does is, with all the big ends on the same side, the box bulges a little bit. So it looks like they fixed that, but what you can do is just turn around on one side. Dang it. So there's naturally that separation in the bag. Do this and bam. Now they stack nicely and flat. So now when I do that, Now there's no bulge on either side. It's perfectly flat. Alright, so this. Yeah, these look like they're soaked in some kind of oil too. Alright, we're going to add some of these. Let's see, we need this. We need this. Alright, these are going to go there, that. These go here. So if it is this thing leaking oil, that could cause a problem for these fire strikers, which kind of sucks, but you know, while I'm at it, I'm going to upgrade the bag. So these bags are kind of thin. This bag, I think, is a lot thicker. Yeah, it's noticeably thicker, so I'm going to upgrade the bag while I'm at it. I mean, this isn't freezer bag thickness, but it is thicker than the previous stuff. I'm not sure why they went to this long bag like this. You know, for some things I can see it making sense. For others, I'm not sold on it. Let's just put it like that. Slide that in there. This in there. Let's see if it fits on the side. I like uniformity. That's kind of a side. I'd say that'd be a side effect of my time in the Marine Corps, but I had a predisposition to that before I joined the Marine Corps. But you know, if you're building multiple of the same thing, you might as well build multiple of the same thing. You know what I'm saying? This way all your kits are the same, you can find the same thing in the same spot, you've got the same capabilities, and do it that way. Because, I mean, basically what you're trying to do is just make things easy for yourself later on down the road. So there we go. Alright, so that. The reason why I put these in first is because this is, you know, kind of a LIFO queue. So last in is the first out. So I'm going to use these first unless I absolutely have to use these. Let's get rid of that. Alright, so that fits. Oh, this even works better because now just do it like that. So, several popular preppers and YouTubers like to do Vaseline with cotton balls. I watched a video from some guys several years ago, I want to say like 2012, 2013. Somebody managed to put too much Vaseline on a cotton ball, and it wouldn't light. Didn't know that was a thing, but apparently, you know, that's one of the good things about YouTube. And you know, this stuff is pretty flammable, and doesn't require any preparation like Vaseline and cotton balls. So I think this stuff is awesome. I swear I just cut it. What the heck happened? There we go. Actually cut it this time. Sorry about it not being on camera. Alright, there we go. I think next time I'll move the camera back a little bit so my natural point of sitting is going to be in frame. Alright. So let's see, I've got that and that. And for now, put some hair bands on it, and that's a kit. And if that goes in a bag, I'll separate them, and bam. Now I get to clean up all this mess. So thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. It wound up being a little bit longer than I thought, but you know, hopefully there's some good content in there for you. I know watching when I watch someone think through a problem and come to a solution, that helps me figure out how to do my own problem solving.